the first time I ever heard about you was, do you remember that ask you got on Tumblr where someone was like, oh, why did you use like Marie, like your name?
Oh my
But
gosh.
you
Oh my gosh.
like,
Yes, I definitely remember that very well. I got a lot of flack for that too. So,
oh really?
yeah, some people were like, oh, this is fake. Oh, this is stupid. And I'm like, well, no. Someone actually sent me this.
Yeah.
And then someone sent me it again, I guess just as a joke. And then they sent it to a couple other people. And I saw it showing up on my feed from a couple of my friends. And I was like, all right, this person probably just is messing around. But still, I was like, oh gosh, who would actually say this?
How do you pronounce your last name? I've never actually said it out loud.
Oh, LUM. So it's LUM.
Lum. Okay,
Yeah,
Lum.
like
Gotcha.
like
Okay,
plum,
right.
but without the P.
Right. Because someone sent you the ask that was like, oh, you use Marie Lum as your like, what exactly were they complaining about? Like using an Asian name or something like that?
Yeah, because in my signature I actually use my Chinese characters for my last name, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
put my initials as cursive, so ML, and then underneath that I draw a little box and I put my last name in there with the Chinese characters, and someone was like, "Why are you using that? Why are you using Chinese characters in your signature?
How dare
Yeah,
you?
like, how
Yeah.
dare you?" And then they said something like cultural misappropriation, and I was like,
Ah,
first
right.
of all, that's
Yeah.
not a word. And then
Yeah.
second, I'm actually Chinese, so hello. But yeah, oh gosh,
Yep.
is that the first? Is that the first? The first thing
I
you
think that
heard
was the
about me?
first. I'd seen your art, I think, around that time too.
Oh dang.
But then I saw that ask and I was like, this is great. I mean, your response to it was
Oh,
great. So I was like,
I actually
yeah.
had it in my ask for a while because I was like, oh, I need to think of a good comeback for that. So I wasn't like
yeah.
fast and witty responding to it. It was more like I sat there and waited for something to come to mind. But yeah, just using
Right,
those
you were
sparkly
just
emojis.
waiting for the right wording.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's actually really funny because that's how a lot of
Yeah.
people also found me because they were like, oh, that ask was so ridiculous. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, sometimes you don't know like what thing will just suddenly go big, and then a bunch of people will just jump on your like audience. You know?
Oh yeah, like whenever I post a sketch of something, and then that gets like 1,000 notes or so, and then I'm like, oh sweet, people will really like the final product of this, and then I post the final product and gets like 5 notes. Like, oh, you guys,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, why do you like this better than the actual thing? Oh well.
It's the eternal struggle
Yeah.
of putting content on the internet.
Oh, definitely. I think well, of course, the first way I found you was through Tumblr, and one of your vines got reblogged, and I was
Okay.
like, ha, this guy's really funny. And then I went to your page, and I was like, oh man, he's really funny. Just gonna follow this guy. Then I found you on Twitter, and that's how it all
Well,
started.
thank you.
Oh man, friendship.
Yep. We actually met in person a couple months ago. When I came to LA, and you were very nice enough to give me a ride to the airport.
Oh,
which
no
I
problem. No problem.
really
at all.
appreciated.
I mean, I live like 5 minutes away from the airport, and of course, living 5 minutes away from the airport gives me the know-how of how the traffic works around. So I was like, this is probably a good idea. Also, I just wanted to meet you since you were in town, and that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked a bunch about a couple of things, but I remember us talking about food a lot.
Yes.
So have you eaten anything good lately?
Well, I had hot pot earlier actually, and that was pretty good. Have you ever had Boiling Point? It's a restaurant, and it's really good.
Yeah, I've been to a similar restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff. And then I went to a New Year party actually at one of my friend's place, and he has this takoyaki maker, and it was so good. We were just making it all night, and then he also made homemade pizza, and someone brought this extra spicy chicken noodle, and we all took one bite out of it, and most people couldn't handle it because it was pretty darn spicy, but that was good too. Those are like
extra spicy chicken noodle.
Yeah,
was it like an instant ramen
yeah, it was
thing,
an
or
instant
like
ramen thing.
was it that what's it called? Is it Korean?
Yes,
or
it was. It was.
Bulak Bokumyeon or whatever it's called.
Maybe I just
Something
remember
like
it being
I
super
recently ate it in a video.
Oh, really?
Let me see if I can
Oh,
find
shoot.
it. Yeah, let me see.
Wait, I think
Buldak Bokumyeon.
I think
it's
I
like
saw you
really
post the
spicy
link.
chicken flavor.
Yeah.
Korean flavored, not Korean flavored, Korean spicy Korean
yummy.
flavor.
Oh god.
Yeah, this is the one that a bunch of people were eating on like YouTube and stuff. I didn't think it was that bad spice wise, but
It was pretty delicious. But yeah.
Yeah, it was actually it was very tasty.
So that really stuck with me because ever since then I've been wanting to buy some and just eat some on my own. But
I know there's a cheese flavor.
Yeah.
Of that brand.
Yeah, so what my friend
but I haven't
was
had that
talking
one
about.
yet.
There's a cheese flavor, and that sounds delicious because I actually like cheese in my noodles.
Oh, me too.
So good.
Yeah.
So darn good. What about you?
So what kind of cheese do you put in your noodles usually?
Let's see. One of my friends actually told me to take just like flat out American cheese and just put it in there.
That's the best way to do it.
So good.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know. Actually, I think that's the only one I've ever put in my noodles. So that's the way to go.
That's
it's
kind
so
of the
good.
only one you need because it's so perfect. And people like, knock on American cheese and give it shit.
Oh, man.
But it's so good.
Dude, it's good.
It's so good when you melt it and stuff, or melt it in ramen or ramen. Oh my god.
So
it's
good.
So good. I remember my dad, like when I was a kid, he because we ate, shin ramen. We used to eat that all the time, and so he like put like he was like watch this, and he put like a Kraft single in there, and it changed my world forever.
Watch this, my power move.
Yeah,
Pretty
much.
Anime sounds.
It is quite a power. Yeah, it is quite a power move. But yeah, that I was surprised because I was expecting just kind of like it's just spicy, but no, that it actually tastes. The Buldak Bokumyeon tastes really good.
Yeah, and it adds so much depth.
Just as a noodle
Flavor. It's good stuff. If anyone hasn't ever tried that, then I suggest it. Highly suggest it, especially with this shit.
Oh yeah.
Ramen, yum yum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you? Have you eaten anything noteworthy as of late?
Well, I ate a bunch of ridiculous stuff in Florida because we just decided to go balls out and just eat like whatever we wanted. So I had like a Wagyu ribeye steak with truffle butter, and that was probably one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Sounds so
in my
fancy.
life.
Sounds like something you'd get on Chopped or something. Like, oh, here's my steak with the truffle butter and peanut butter. I don't know what else goes on
peanut butter glaze or whatever.
And some tape. I don't know. I don't know. Sounds great.
It was. Do you like steak?
I do.
Like what kind of?
I do.
What kind of steak do you? I mean, how do you like your steak cooked?
I like it medium rare, as basic as you can get.
Right, that's how you do it.
I don't know what kind of particular steaks. I just like food in general, so I'll take it. I'll take it all.
Right. Yeah.
It's good.
Oh yeah. I could talk about food forever, but I'm not gonna.
Welcome to the food podcast. We're just gonna talk about food.
I will try to limit myself. So I like your art a lot. If people are not familiar with your work, I think you have a very very pleasing, very just defined style, which I like, and I like. Oh, you're welcome. And I like your character designs a lot. And I'll let you plug your stuff at the end of the podcast because people should check your stuff out. But I'm curious as to kind of like what, like, as you were, I guess I don't want this to be like an interview, but I am curious. Like what?
It's fine.
Like what stuff did you watch as a kid that like sort of either kind of like motivated you to become an artist or influenced you in like what kind of shit did you watch when you were like a kid? No, it doesn't have to be a kid, but early, as you were growing up.
I get you. Let's see. There's a lot. Let me tell you. There's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
my mom is an artist, actually. She's a graphic designer, and
Oh, okay.
actually a good chunk of my family on my mom's side and my dad's side are artists. So I kind of grew up around the
Oh.
artist scene, which is apparently very unusual because usually people are like, "Oh, I'm the only artist in my family," but for me, I actually grew up around a good portion of artists. So that helped because they weren't ever like, don't become an artist, it'll starve you.
Yeah.
They were always like, oh, that's great. Like they were encouraging.
Can we do it? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just one of the family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that helped a lot. But things that I watched, my mom definitely helped me with that. She showed me a lot of silly symphonies as a kid. So Walt Disney silly
Yeah.
symphonies, great stuff. I still watch that all the time now. And of course, a lot of Disney movies, all the Disney animated movies, grew up on those. And then also, my grandma is really into cartoons, funnily enough. So whenever I went over to her place, she would break out the VHSs of stuff that she would record during Saturday mornings. And there would always be Animaniacs in particular was her favorite because her name is Dorothy and people would call her Dot. And she was always like, oh, I'm
okay.
Dot. And I'd be like, ha, yeah, you are. But Animaniacs, of course. I love Tiny Toons. She really liked Warner Brothers, so I grew up with a lot of Warner Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
And, of course, anime. Of course.
Of course.
My older cousin, actually, whenever I would go visit her, her room was just covered in Sailor Moon posters. And as a kid, I was like, whoa, that looks so cool. Like, it's so different and so, like, shiny, and it looks really great. So I asked her what it was one day, and she's like, oh, it's my favorite show, Sailor Moon. Have you never seen it? And so she introduced me to the world of anime, and I give her a lot of credit for that. And she still is like, I'm the one who introduced her to anime. So grew up with a lot of magical
lured you into this.
Yeah. Got me started, got me hooked. That gateway. There are a lot of things.
Anime.
I think those are the main things, though. Lots of Disney, of course. And then Sailor Moon. Trying to think what else. Pixar stuff, of course. I always thought like the 3D was really cool, especially as a kid. I actually for a long time I thought that it was real. Like it was actually real stuff. And like I thought the toys were actually moving, and I thought it was awesome, and that was good.
So you thought it was just live action?
Yeah, I thought it was just live action until obviously it's not. But that was definitely magical for me as a kid. A lot of behind the scenes of Walt Disney movies. Watching that is when I realized that you.
I used to love on VHS tapes. They'd have those for they'd have I remember on Sleeping Beauty they had it all the they'd show the actors or the reference models or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved watching that stuff.
Yeah, it's great because that's when I realized, oh, you can do this for a living. Like people do this as their career, as their job, and it was that aha moment for me. And in 3rd grade, I was like, I'm gonna be an animator, and I just never looked back. And here I am. Just animating away. Yeah.
I think it's awesome that because I think a lot of people, or I think it's awesome that you have people a nice supportive family with artist backgrounds, because like you said, I think a lot of people, including me, had or have sort of your parents are worried about you, and they don't want you to starve. So they're like, oh, have you considered something else? But I've been pretty lucky too in that my parents have been supportive of what I do. To be fair, I at the point I got to a point where they were like, okay, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have sort of a support structure that can help you pursue what you want to do creatively.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's great that your parents are supportive, because I know a lot of my friends, even now, they're out of college and they went to art college, or they still they have a job and their parents are still oh, like maybe you should be a doctor someday, or you should go
Yeah,
into business. And they're like, I'm like 30. I don't really want to change my career
right.
path now. But yeah. Oh, that's great that your parents are supportive too.
Well, every now and then my mom will be like, oh, not, she doesn't do it now, but she used to be like, oh, have you considered graduate school? And I'm like, nope. I'm pretty
Oh,
content with what I'm doing.
graduate school.
But I'm like at a point now where they are like, yeah, okay, he's fine. My dad was surprisingly supportive because I think once I told him, because I don't think they like really knew to the extent of what I was doing, like I guess on the internet and like voiceover
Yeah.
and stuff. And then I think I like sat down and like just explained to them, okay, like, this is what I'm actually doing, and like, you know, I'm getting, you know, a moderate, I guess, amount of success or whatever. So, and then he
Moderate.
said something like, I think at the time
Okay,
when I told them, I'd say now, I guess there's a growth, I suppose.
You're pretty darn
but,
good, man. Just saying.
Well, thank
Just
you.
saying.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. But I think when I told them, like, this is, you know, I think he said, is this really what you want to do? Like, even like, you know, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, like, is this your dream? And I told him yes. And he's like, okay, then you got to do it. Which I wasn't expecting him to say. But that was actually it meant a lot to me.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. So I think we're both lucky in that respect, that we have a sort of supportive family.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that got a real profound and serious for a moment.
Oh.
But, and I also can relate in like similar to how you watch those behind the scenes animators things. When I saw like people doing voiceover behind the scenes for the first time,
it's so cool.
I was like, holy shit, that's so cool.
It's amazing.
And like, I used to pay attention to like, you know, the credits after every cartoon I watched, like who voiced who, and like I have this encyclopedia. I still do this encyclopedia sort of knowledge of like, oh, this guy voices this character, this character, this character, and you know.
Oh, that's great.
So, but you went into it real early, like third grade. You said you wanted to be an animator.
Yeah, I don't
crazy.
know. I just thought about it for a second and was like, this is cool. I guess this is what I'm gonna do, because I wasn't particularly good at anything else at the time. So I was like, oh, I guess, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do, because I guess I'm good at this, and we'll just keep going from there. And it all somehow worked out. Well, thanks to a lot of people, of course, definitely. But yeah.
And your hard work, and also your talent.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. Did you have like a knack for drawing? I know obviously you practiced and worked very hard at your craft, but when you were, because third grade is very young, did you have like a knack for drawing at that point, or was it just sort of like a love for it?
I think it was 50-50. I think I really loved doing it because it was something that my mom and I used to do together. So it always bring like, you know, happy memories of just spending afternoons with my mom, and we would be painting or drawing or just watching cartoons together, because she really loves cartoons. So I give her props for that. But it was also kind of something that I just naturally got into. It came a lot easier for me than for other people, I think. Definitely in class, when it was like art at your fingertips or whatever it was called, people were like, oh, we should have Marie in our team because she's a good drawer, you know? That kind of thing. But yeah, it just kind of came naturally, and I kept going at it. And then through high school too, oh man, I can't even look back at my high school drawings right now. But I guess people liked them enough to tell them that it was okay for me to go to art school. So that's great. And my teacher, I had a really great art teacher in high school, so that also helped. How about you? Like, for voice acting, when did you really get into it? High school, college?
I would say my interest in in it as a craft, not for me personally doing it, but that was like when I was young, like a kid. But I never thought I'd do it. Well, first of all, because when I was a kid, before puberty, I hated my voice. I hated the sound of it. Because like before puberty, your voice is very high, and so I sounded like my mom, basically. And I think a lot of kids sound like their moms before puberty. And then 7th grade hit, and bam, I got this.
I got this.
It feels like
new year, new
I don't
me.
know, it's like I suffered through like years of hearing myself in like family recordings and stuff, like hating it, and then I got this.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know some people still as an adult hate how they sound.
Oh, me definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I hear my own voice in recordings, I'm just like, I'll just never listen to this again. Yeah.
I think a part of it is you just don't hear yourself that often.
That's true.
And also, what you hear of yourself is different than how other people hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that already.
Yeah.
You can do like the thing where you like block your ears with your hands, and then that will give you a more of an idea of what you actually sound like to other people.
I totally do that when I'm trying to sing. Still doesn't work. Can't sing. It's okay. It's okay. Not my calling.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, I would say I started becoming actually interested probably high school. Let's say that was like 10 years ago. So like 15, 16, I started doing these radio plays for my friend, because he would write them and then he'd get his friends to like voice act for them. And of course I was very bad to start with. But I got to a point doing those where I really fell in love with becoming the character. I think before that point it was like, oh, I'm just doing a voice or whatever, and it's like a not a funny voice, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
But I think once you, as an actor, once you kind of feel like I am not pretending to be this character, I am acting as this character, that's when I fell in love with that. And I was like, I actually do want to do this. But it did take, even after that, I was not good for, like a couple years.
Yeah.
It's something I definitely have practiced. And keep, I think it's important to keep practicing your craft if you are an artist of any kind.
Yeah, super important.
Yeah. So I always want to get better. But I think I'm at a point now where I'm I am proud of what I put out, but I do want to keep getting better and, doing the good shit. Yeah.
Definitely. I love all the voices you do in a lot of your videos. They're so funny.
Thank you. Oh, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? One thing about Pixar is you mentioned that like you thought it was live action.
Yes.
It's funny because like if you look back at old Pixar stuff.
Oh,
now,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like at the time you're like, this is revolutionary.
Yeah.
But then you can look back at it now and you look at the humans in Toy Story and you're like, they are monstrosities.
Oh my goodness. Yes, like the mom in Toy Story. I'm pretty sure they changed her so much in the first one, second one, third one. Just like completely different people. But yes, looking back on that old CG, it's pretty great.
The toys look pretty good though.
Yeah.
But like when they go to like humans, oh man, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, the humans are pretty hard to do because, we know what humans look like so much. Actually, fun fact, the reason why Andy didn't have a dad in Toy Story is because humans we're just too expensive to animate and to model, and especially at the time, so they were just like, well, he doesn't need a dad. We'll just not give him a dad.
The dad is optional, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's great.
Yeah, I remember reading that somewhere, and it's like, oh, it makes sense. But
just cut the dad.
I actually went to the Pixar Science Museum exhibit recently, and that was really great.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a like a whole floor dedicated to just the science behind the animation. And
Ooh.
that was cool. There was a section for the rigging area, which is great because a lot of people don't know what rigging is, and they were explaining it in a really easy to understand way. And there was another section for modeling, like how they actually build the characters. And then texturing is how they, like, color the characters in and add all the little textures on it. And it was just a really great experience. I'm sad that it's temporary, but I wonder if it's still up right now.
Was that open to the general public, or like did you have to be like invited, or what was the deal with it?
Yeah, it was open to the general public. So there were a lot of kids running around, which was great because most of the interactive exhibit stuff was meant for kids. Like let's see, there was like a big video screen, and you could press a bunch of buttons, and a bunch of things can like happen, and there were a bunch of games to do. It was a lot of fun. I really liked how it was set up, and it was really clever. If you ever have the opportunity to go to it, I'd highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun and super educational.
Yeah, I would love to go.
Yeah.
I actually did have a very almost little to no knowledge of what rigging is. What is rigging? I remember reading an article that was like something about the octopus in Finding Dory was like the hardest thing they had to like rig or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is it? But what is rigging
so,
exactly?
Basically, when you build your 3D model, you have... Let me see if I can explain this. Ooh, here it goes.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, no, it's okay.
You can give me a basic sort of description.
Yeah, so you have this model. So imagine, I guess, Woody... But in order for him to move, he needs like an internal skeleton. So in order to animate him, they need to make this internal skeleton so they can actually make the model or the geometry of the model move around.
Right.
And so they basically build this kind of structure, internal structure inside, so that they can have these little points like his joints or his hands or his head, and there's also like eye rigs so you can move the eyes and everything, so it's a lot more organized to move around the model instead of just taking the actual head and moving the head and ruining the geometry of the model.
Right.
It's really hard. It's something that I can't really do very well, and lots of respect to riggers because they work super hard and they make animating a lot easier for us animators. But yeah.
Yeah, I knew it had something to do with movement, but I wasn't exactly sure.
Yeah.
Man, that kind of shit's interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
Going back to Pixar, and Disney, what's your favorite Disney movie? What's your favorite Pixar movie?
Disney movie. Probably Tarzan or Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those really... I love them both. And Pixar, Incredibles, by far. The Incredibles is my favorite.
That is a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Tarzan because I love Jane's character. Jane's character is just so well done. She has so much energy, and I love her voice actress, and I love her animation. It's so energetic. And in Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's just so much darker, and I kind of like that. I also love the music in it. The music is super dramatic, and especially that like first opening number. Yeah. Oh man. I remember not watching it for a long time because it scared me for a long time, and so I kind of forgot about it. And then it showed up in my Netflix recommended, and I was like, oh hey, I haven't watched this film in a good number of years, so I decided to watch it again. And man, just from the opening, it gripped me. And I fell in love with it again. It's good stuff.
That's one I should rewatch at some point. Hunchback. I don't think I've seen that since I was pretty young. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I forgot about in the middle of it because I remember the beginning, kind of, which was the dramatic beginning, and then the end. But all the stuff in the middle just got muddled around, and it's some really good stuff in the middle. So yeah, recommend it. And then for The Incredibles, I love the story of this superpower family and all the superheroes, and it's so good. I just love it so
Well,
much.
Brad Bird is just a genius.
Yeah, and he's directing the second one, the sequel that's coming out.
Oh, he is. Okay,
yeah,
good.
so
Yeah.
Whew, I know I was relieved because
that was one that like for years people were like, make this the sequel. Like if you're gonna make sequels to things, this is one that'll actually. I'm very curious to see what they'll do with it.
Yeah,
because I think there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to do. There are so many things you could do with superheroes, and like the universe that they built and all the characters that they have is so solid. So I'm sure that they're going to do something great with it. Hopefully, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they will manage, especially with Brad Bird on board. Like I love Iron Giant so much.
Yes.
I think that's a perfect movie.
It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah, I would say my end for favorites. I like I think my favorite Disney is Great Mouse Detective.
Oh yes, so cute.
I've always loved
that
even when I was a kid. And then favorite Pixar would probably be Toy Story. I think that's another one where, for me, I think my issues sometimes with some animated movies is I think pacing. They have a lot of pacing issues.
Yeah, definitely.
Or it feels like the characters don't kind of earn their friendships or their relationships. But I think Toy Story is like perfectly paced.
Yeah.
And I can still watch that now and appreciate it. I feel like I can appreciate it more as an adult now, even though I loved it as a kid.
Yeah. Toy Story, one thing that it really does to me is definitely miss my childhood. When I see Andy playing with all his toys and, playing make-believe, I miss that.
That movie influenced how I played with toys as well. Like, do you remember? No, of course you remember. But the part in the Christmas tree where like the Green Army guys are behind the ornaments and stuff.
Yes.
Remember that? I used to do that. I used to like.
Oh yeah.
There's a scene with like the barrel monkeys like hanging from the window to try to get Buzz. I would do that from like the stairway or whatever. Oh man. Or like that influenced how I played with toys.
That's awesome. That's like one of the greatest things an animated movie can do. It's like influence your life. Yeah. Big love for Toy Story and what it did to the industry. Actually, opened a lot of doors.
So, what kind of stuff are you currently like? Any like, what are you currently obsessed with? Any? I know you're probably pretty busy, but anything you are enjoying in your free time, like media or anything?
Of course.
Any good shit?
Of course. So, let's see. I haven't been too much into video games lately, but I really love the Overwatch universe and all the characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have the game, but unfortunately I haven't been playing so much because my computer can't really handle the game, even on the lowest settings. But I watch all my friends play, and I just got really into the stories. And, of course, all the comics that have been coming out and all the cinematics. I really love that. And for TV shows and stuff like that, I've been really into just cartoons in general. I try to keep up with the animation industry as much as possible, so I try to indulge like myself in as much media as I can for TV animation, since that's what I want to go into. But I particularly like We Bare Bears. I think it's super cute.
Oh, that's one I have not seen that one, but I hear good things about it.
It is so sweet. It is just a really optimistic show, and it's just absolutely adorable. Just 3 bears going around San Francisco doing whatever bears do in San Francisco. Yeah. And then, let's see what else. Watched all the animated movies for 2016. Oh, I watched Your Name. Have you watched that yet? It's the
sorry, what did you say?
Your Name. That.
Oh, I need to see that.
It is so good. I think that might be my favorite animated movie of 2016. Actually, it topped everything else. It was really good, and I couldn't stop thinking about it for like 2 weeks after I saw it. And yeah, let's see what else. There are a lot of.
Yeah, that's one I want to see real bad. Everyone is talking about that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Has it come to theaters near you at all? Because I think that's the way to watch it right now. for us?
I have not checked. I have been pretty busy
Yeah,
because I was
yeah.
out of town.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'd have to look. Or I'll just wait for it to get on like DVD or whatever and just watch it that way.
Yeah, I
But
think it's coming out on DVD soon, so hopefully.
yeah.
What about you?
In terms of what I'm consuming,
Yes.
media wise,
Yeah.
I've been mainly doing a lot of. I feel like I'm either only watching things or only playing things. Right now, I'm playing a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon
Oh,
on
yes.
3DS.
Oh, yes.
Have you played those?
I have not, but I have definitely seen my brother playing it because my brother's super into Pokemon. So whenever I go back home, he's always playing it.
I am pretty consumed by that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a randomly generated dungeon crawler kind of game. Yeah. I love that. I downloaded Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Over the honeymoon vacation, and that I was like, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really liked it when I was younger. I'll just play this a little bit because I saw some of my friends were playing it. Completely sucked up any downtime I had when I was in Florida.
Oh, man.
Like I like constantly am playing it or want to play it. I don't know how familiar you are with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a show or game, but
I'm pretty familiar.
I love that game, and it has all the original voice actors from the show. So, because I have not kept up with there's all kinds of new Yu-Gi-Oh shows now with all these new characters and rules. I don't know any of that stuff, but Yu-Gi-Moto, Kaiba, I know that this game is that. So it's basically what I've been wanting to fill. Well, I didn't know I had a Yu-Gi-Oh shaped hole in my heart, but apparently I did because it's being filled now
a Yu-Gi-Oh
to the
shaped
brim.
hole in your heart. That's awesome to imagine. Yes. My brother actually really loves Yu-Gi-Oh, and he's the one who got me into it. And because I'm his sister and his only sister, it was my job to play Yu-Gi-Oh with him whenever he wanted to play. So of course, I always got beaten because my brother is the most awesome person in the world, and he will beat me in everything. But I had a lot of fun playing that with my brother, and also watching it with my brother and my mom too. My mom likes it too, mainly for the theme song.
Really?
Yeah, every time it came on, she would be like, "It's
it has
time
a great theme song.
Duel," and that's all she would do. But yeah.
That opening got me hyped.
Yeah.
I don't know how far did you watch the show?
Let's see. I would only ever really watch it when my brother was around because he didn't want to watch it without. Well, he didn't want me watching it without him because it was his show that he liked.
Right.
But I also watched the abridged series a lot. The one. Yeah. The Little Karibo.
Little Karibos. Yeah.
But,
that's good stuff too.
Yeah, and then I would also go to the card shop with my brother and then watch him duel with people in our local neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. They went way too fast for me to really figure out what was going on, but it was a lot of fun to watch that.
Yeah. I love that your mom and grandma just love cartoons. Because I can't relate to that at all. My parents don't. I mean they used to watch them maybe a little bit with us, but they're not fans of cartoons or anything. So I think it's rad as hell that your grandma likes Animaniacs, your mom likes cartoons and stuff. Anything you feel like, is there anything out? Doesn't have to be a cartoon, but since we're talking about cartoons, anything you wish more people were watching or knew about?
Let's see. There's definitely a lot of things. Let me try to narrow it down. Well, when I was interning at Warner Brothers over the summer, because I was interning at Warner Brothers Animation, I was on this really cute show, the DC Superhero Girls. And I just think it's super cute. Yeah, it's great for young girls, and I just think it's really well done. And I like it a lot. And it's kind of let's see, what's it called? Like Ever After High or Monster High, if you know.
Oh yeah,
Those
I know what those are. Yeah.
yeah, but it's with the DC superhero girl characters, and it's a lot of fun. And they have a lot of things coming out, I think, this year, and they had a lot of shorts and stuff that came out a little bit last year, and I think that's a lot of fun to watch, especially if you have young girls or daughters, or if you are a young girl. It's a lot of fun to watch that.
We actually watched because we went to my wife's family's for Thanksgiving, and at the hotel on the way, we watched that show because whenever we're at a hotel, we just watch whatever's on. on like Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
And I was very surprised at how entertaining that show is. Like, I love the designs for all the like Wonder Woman and stuff like that.
Yeah, she has like joggers.
Because I love Justice League.
Oh yeah.
And so because I watched that actually pretty recently for the first time, and so now I like am fully on board all the DC like animated stuff. Because only before that, I think my only exposure was I loved Batman the Animated Series as a kid.
Oh, excellent show.
Yeah, one of the best cartoons ever.
Definitely.
But I watched Justice League finally because I love Paul Dini and stuff like that, and I love that animated universe. And so now I like watching other DC shows, and like even like the DC superhero girls, because it's just fun to see how they interpret like crazy quilts like their art teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
Gorilla Grodd is their vice principal. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
I would be totally fine with more high school AUs of all my favorite things, if I'm being completely honest.
I definitely have a
just
soft
a
spot
fun
for high school.
atmosphere.
Yeah. It's like, it's just a lot of fun putting characters that you like back in high school and seeing, how they would have been. I just think it's really cute. And a lot of kids in high school like to look at that and be like, oh, they're in high school too. They're just like me, and they relate to it that way. I think it's super cute.
I'm glad that Harley Quinn is a good guy in it.
Yeah.
I'll watch or read Harley Quinn stuff, and I'll always feel like bad for Harley Quinn because I like Harley Quinn, and I'm like, I wish Harley Quinn could like be happy every now and then.
Yeah, she deserves.
So I think it's fun that she and like was there another villain? I forget. But anyway, I know Harley Quinn is in it, and she's like one of their friends, which I think is a fun sort of twist on that character.
And Poison Ivy is also part of the Hero Squad. I know that they were discussing that, and they were like, "Oh, they're with the heroes because this is high school, and this is before they decided to choose their like evil path." So.
Is that the actual reasoning for it?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, that's sad then, because then they're not going to be friends anymore.
I know, but.
Oh, that's distressing.
Yeah, I love Harley Quinn though, and also she's voiced by Tara Strong, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the one thing I did want to mention is that during my internship, I got to sit in on a record, and I've never done that before. I know. So they went to me and the other intern that was at the office at the time, because I was in a separate building from some of the other interns, and then there's also another one because we have the Warner Brothers Ranch and then the Warner Brothers Pinnacle, and the Pinnacle is this like this tall building, and the ranch is like the classic Warner Brothers animation area. So me and the other intern were in the Pinnacle, and they came up to us and were like, hey, you want to sit in on a record? You get to see the voice actors. And we were just like, yes, of course we do. Of course we do.
I would shit my pants if someone offered that to me.
Yeah. So we got to get there. We walked into the little tiny studio because it was somewhere off the lot, of course. We sit down, and they were like, here, you can sit up front. You could sit on the front couch and get a front row seat. So we were just sitting there all excited. And in walks Tara Strong, just so cool. She said hi to everyone. Me and the other intern were just sitting there as shocked. We were like, oh, Tara Strong. And then she commented on my broken leg, because that's when I had my broken leg. And I just felt so honored. But yeah, I've never sat in on something like that or seen that, I see behind the scenes and like the
Right.
special clips that the DVD releases, but to actually see it up close and personal, to see them doing what they do best, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. It was so great. So cool. And Tara Strong was just really awesome. She got through the script like super fast. I was
Oh
super
yeah.
impressed. I think that was the highlight of my internship, actually, getting to sit on all of
That
that.
sounds amazing. Yeah. Wow. That, that I would kill to sit in on one of those. But that's rad as hell. I was gonna say something else about DC, but I don't remember.
Whoops, sorry.
I just get so like I get so engrossed in you talking about the voiceover session. I just completely forgot what I was gonna say. But
Whoops. The voiceover section.
Whoops.
The voiceover session was very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. What would you say, like, because I'm always curious, going, because everyone's, we all are on the internet now. What was your earliest internet experiences?
Oh, gosh.
Like, what did you first do when you first started using the internet?
Oh gosh. Okay.
And also, how old were you when you did it?
First internet experience. I'm thinking probably back in 2002 to 2003 when actually here is the origin of my screen name, my handle,
Okay.
Puka Noodles.
Yeah.
So this character Puka is actually this really cute character from Korea by this company called
Yeah, right. I'm familiar.
Yeah. So they started out with these e-cards, when it was cool to send email with e-cards
Right.
all the flashy stuff. So I thought that was super cool. And my mom was like, oh, come here. Look, it's so cute. And she showed me these flash animations online. And that's what I pretty much spent a lot of my time after I got back from school, is watching these Puka episodes over and over on Vuze's website. And that was really cute. Also, Hallmark e-cards, it pretty much has to do with email, but Hallmark e-cards, they had these two little characters called Hoops and Yo-Yo. I don't know if you know.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
They are so great. I'm pretty sure that whenever they recorded these e-cards, they just I forgot the word. Improvised whatever they were saying.
Okay.
So it was a lot of fun and it was really funny. But it was this pink cat and this little tiny green bunny, and they just talked about whatever they wanted to. And it was a lot of fun. And they had a bunch of different like birthday e-cards and Merry Christmas e-cards and Happy Halloween, all that kind of stuff. And I thought they were absolutely awesome. And they still are really cool.
Are they still a thing now? Do they still make stuff with them?
I think they still make stuff with them, because if you go into a Hallmark store, there's still some Hoops and Yo-Yo merchandise floating around. But I had a bunch of Hoops and Yo-Yo posters in my room too, and a little door hangy thingy. I don't know what it's called, but you hang it on your doorknob, and then when someone opens the door, it would sing a song, and it would be like, "Come in our room, come here in our room," and something like that. But yeah, so I really liked basically anything that had funny little characters in it is something that I got really into as a kid. But that's the earliest memory of stuff that I did on the internet. Also, Newgrounds is something that I remember doing on the internet really early on. Yeah, a lot of Newgrounds flash games and people stick figure animations, actually. Stuff like that.
Oh, like the fighting stick figures? I love that stuff. I forget what it's called.
So cool.
But, it's still cool.
Yeah. Actually, I met a couple friends that did the stick figure animations for a lot of League of Legends stuff. And so I just always ask them, like, wow, this is so cool. Like, how do you make that? They're just like, oh, we just kind of like wing it. We just kind of do it. And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. They're so cool. You don't like, plan it out or anything. They're like, no, it's just something that we do for fun. It's like whatever. It's not, whatever. And I'm like, dude, it's really cool. they're like, oh, it's something we've been doing since Newgrounds, so whatever. But yeah, I love those things, stick figure animations.
I'm glad you were deep in that Hallmark fandom.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
me. Hallmark e-cards all the way. Oh gosh. What about you?
The earliest stuff I did, like really, Mario fanfiction.
Oh man. Fanfiction.
I was real in the. Oh yeah, I was real deep in that Mario fanfiction community.
Did you write your own?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Are you kidding? Of course. You know what's funny is I made a group of friends in that community, and so I was probably like 14. I'm like 26 now, and so I have been friends with them since. I am still friends with them.
Aw, that's so sweet, actually.
They are some of my closest friends, and my wife I met through that group, that friend group.
No way!
Yeah. Yep.
That is so sweet.
So Mario fanfiction is what brought me and my wife together. I guess.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
That's a great
I wrote it. I was very into writing it. I almost kind of miss the fulfillment I got from writing fanfiction, because well, you have your own characters, and there's that excitement of making developing stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I I guess I could go write more fanfiction, but I'm not particularly motivated to. But I do miss that kind of excitement and creative process.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yes. Oh, I wrote Mario fanfiction. Oh yeah.
I'm so proud.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. I know a lot of people who wrote fan fiction, definitely back in the day, and I did read a little bit of fan fiction myself, but it was mostly
what
like
kind?
Zelda fan fiction because I really am into Zelda. But there was this one in particular that I read. I think it's deleted now, which makes me kind of sad because it had a ton of chapters. But it was like, have you ever played Twilight Princess?
Yes.
Yes. So it was labeled, was it like 1,000 Ways to Kill Ilya? Or something like that. Okay. And every chapter was a different...
his friend, right?
Yeah. And every chapter was a different way that she died. And I thought it was hilarious. Oh. But it was really poorly written. But I thought it was like, oh, lol, Raffle XD, so funny, so random.
That random phase we all go through. Yeah.
Oh, so many memories of reading
It's sad thinking about those fan fictions that are just gone now.
Yeah. I couldn't find it because I went back to find it for memory's sake and I just couldn't find it. But, maybe I wasn't looking in the right place. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's and what's funny is you'll look back at some of them now. Just at the time you were just enraptured by the writing, and you look back and it's just not good.
Yeah.
It's just, of course, there were some actually good writers, but some of the stuff I read, obviously, real bad.
Yeah. Hey, it was fun. Good memories.
Oh yeah. It definitely shaped me into who I still love Mario a lot.
Oh, yes.
I'm very excited for Odyssey.
Oh yes.
I loved 3D World and Galaxy and
Galaxy. Oh yes.
Galaxy's so good.
So good.
So damn good.
I keep telling people to play it, and they're like, "Oh, isn't it on the Wii? It's so old." You should just play it anyway.
Pretty much. Yeah. Get a Wii U. Get a Wii U just to play Wii games.
Yeah.
I don't know. People always complain well, the Nintendo console only has this many games, and it's yeah, but they're all fucking amazing.
Yeah, right.
I love those guys. I love those games, so it's totally worth it to me. Mario Odyssey, as much as I think Zelda looks amazing, Mario Odyssey alone is what will get me to get the Switch. Of course, Zelda looks brilliant too.
But, I cannot wait for Zelda.
Oh yeah, that new trailer. Oh my god!
I just watched it
crying and stuff.
Again.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so much emotion. It's and she's so cute. That video where I don't know what was like, oh, Zelda
I
is
saw
so
the
cute. So cute.
So it was fucking kawaii.
Yeah.
I think I think what made that new trailer really have an impact on me, because I was like, I thought it looked good before, but like actually seeing the characters in it,
Yeah.
that is what completely like sold me on it. Like I was gonna play it, but now I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Now, because I love those designs, and seeing the new Zelda,
It's amazing.
She's so good.
What like good characters can do, even if you see just like we saw like maybe 5 seconds of Zelda, maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and you're like, I want to play it. I just want to play it just because of her.
Just because, oh my god, just because of her.
Characters are great.
Did you play like Hyrule Warriors at all?
I did.
I love.
It was
Hyrule
fun.
Warriors.
I wasn't expecting to have that much fun with it because I was like, oh, it's another Dynasty Warriors game, just like hit a bunch of guys around. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I really love Impa, and I thought she was super cool.
I love the designs in that. Zelda with a sword.
Yes.
Yes. The sexiest Ganondorf alive. Just.
Oh man, God. Yep. One of my friends would definitely talk to you about that for hours. 4 hours.
Oh, he is a specimen in that game. He
amazing...
usually is, but in that game specifically, that lush ass hair.
Yeah, that amazing facial hair that just blends into his hair.
Mane.
Hair.
Yeah,
mane.
it's just
amazing.
Yeah, right.
What happened? Yeah, that's a fun game. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about Mario Galaxy. Thanks.
I loved both of those.
Yes,
so
I
much.
love the soundtrack to those.
The soundtrack was gorgeous in those.
I still
games.
listen to that when I'm working just regularly because it's beautiful. It makes me want to cry.
Like I love like Rosalina's like observatory music, that like kind of waltz. Wind Garden is a great song. Oh man.
Have you seen that video where they actually recorded the recording studio or the recording stage of them playing that? I think I watched that video so many times. It's on YouTube somewhere.
Of Galaxy? I haven't seen that. I've seen them play stuff for like 3D World, which I think also had amazing music.
Yeah.
But yeah, music in those games is so... I love that they do all that orchestra stuff now, or just full on, jazz band music. Oh, it's so good.
I always have a huge appreciation for orchestra music in video games because it's definitely not cheap. It's definitely not easy, but it makes that much of a difference. It sounds so great.
It gives the levels so much more impact.
It makes you feel like you're actually, gonna save the world. I'm gonna save the world to this violin and some drums.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
So like when you draw, like, because like I remember back when I wrote fanfiction, and I think I saw either you or somebody else tweeting about this, but like listening to like anime openings, or like
I did tweet
and like
about
picturing
that.
your characters. Yeah, I think it was you picturing your characters like in those. Oh man,
yes,
that was the best.
I know for sure. Well, I definitely, for my characters, I always like lie down. Like when I'm about to sleep, I always imagine. Oh, this sounds so lame, but I always imagine an anime opening with all my characters and stuff like that to like a really awesome anime song.
That's the way to do it.
And I know a lot of people actually do that too, so it makes me feel a little bit better. But it's a lot of fun just to imagine them like flying through the air, the cool camera sweeping across a field, and you see all the characters like flashing a peace sign or something, or knocking out a bunch of monsters.
Oh, listen, talking about the art of the anime opening. Oh man, like I love anime.
So good. It gets you so pumped.
Like I can like sit and like watch, because they have like compilations of like, the best anime opening.
Oh yes.
I can just sit and watch that stuff like straight through, and I have like all these opinions on like, this anime opening is so good. Okay, before. I think we should wrap up pretty soon because we've been going for like an hour. Okay. But man, I that shit just went by. But what are some of your best anime openings? Oh, your favorite anime openings?
Okay,
I think that's a good way to end.
Okay,
this.
I definitely like One Piece. We are.
Oh, which one? We are. Oh,
That I listen to that when I'm working on my animation and my thesis, just thinking about the teamwork and the majestic, just I can't even talk.
Have you seen or read One Piece?
I have. I'm in the middle of catching up because I started really late. I started very, very late.
Okay.
I started like 2 years ago, and I'm trying to catch up. But there is so much, and it is all so good. But
where are you at now?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. Where did I leave off? The last time I was reading it was like 3 months ago. Oh, that's so terrible.
Was it maybe Dressrosa or?
I think. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're not that far.
I'm not that far, but I'm still trying to catch up. And all my friends are always talking about it every week, and they're like, "Oh, there's just all this stuff going on." I'm like, "I'm not caught up." Let's see what else.
Yeah.
Oh, you might laugh at me, but
try me.
Okay, I really like Ouran High School Host Club. So
that's a great opening.
So that opening always makes me so happy, and I get so happy when I hear kiss kiss ball. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah,
it's
no knocking
so
that. And the animation in that opening is so fun.
Yeah,
too.
I love the little style.
All glittery and petally. I love that.
All the roses. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a good show.
Mm-hmm. And let me pick one more. Shoot. I liked Lucky Star's opening just for the hair animation. That
has very good animation in that opening.
Yeah, I was actually impressed with the animation they did with the hair, all the secondary animation with their clothes and the hair.
Yeah.
That, like, the song was really, like, hyperactive and, like, oh gosh. But the animation in that, so I actually really like that opening.
Oh, that's Kyo Annie for you.
Yeah.
I watched that for the first time very recently, and I totally ate that shit up.
It's super cute. I love it.
I love Slice of Life.
Yeah. I liked the episode where she went to Comiket. I thought that was hilarious. When she sent her friends to do, like, her bidding. Yeah, that was a good episode.
Is that the one where Kagami sees the, like, Full Metal Panic, like, yaoi book?
Yes! And she just starts freaking out. I love it.
Which I don't know if you've seen Full Metal Panic, but that was...
I have.
Like, okay. I loved that. I still love it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for I hope the reboot or whatever, sequel or reboot or whatever coming out is good. But, like, Fumofu Second Raid, oh my god. Going off on best anime openings, like the third opening, oh, I love it. I love that opening so much.
It's good.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. No, yeah. Like when I, like when we met in person, I was like, I would like to, talk to her again. Like the previous guest, I also met at that time in LA.
Oh yeah.
And so like I like meeting people in person, and like actually getting to talk to them. And then I'm always like, man, like I wish I could just, talk to them again. Like, so I thought you'd be a good guest for,
thank
the podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Why don't you plug your stuff? Where can we find you?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter. Should be at Puka Noodles, Pucca Noodles, and on Tumblr I'm Puka Draws, so Pucca Draws, because I couldn't get the URL Puka Noodles. It's okay.
Who the hell took it?
I don't know.
Someone not worthy of the moniker.
They have a really nice, pretty aesthetic blog with lots of makeup on it, so that's fine.
Okay.
That is fine. But I am not the pretty aesthetic makeup blog, just saying. And then if you want to find me on Instagram too, I'm also Puka Noodles, so I did end up getting that one. So same deal, nice. Pucca Noodles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, and go check her shit out, because her art is quite good, and she's dope,
man.
So...
Making me cry over here.
Oh, yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.